You are standing in an elevator. A stranger walks in. Suddenly, a weird mechanism clicks inside your brain. You do not look at them. They do not look at you. You both stare at the floor numbers like they are the greatest piece of art in history. Then, it happens. Your eyes meet. What do? You smile. You give a tiny nod. You think that is just basic manners? Wrong. Do not pretend you have not done it. That is not politeness. That is an ancient survival instinct hardwired into your genes 50,000 years ago. If you do not do it, your brain screams danger. Why does a tiny twitch of your lips decide if you live or die? Imagine you are on a wild savanna. No smartphone, no elevator, just you and a stranger holding a spear. If you do not signal that you are not a threat, that guy is not waiting for an explanation. He is taking you out before you can say hello. We are living in a modern world with Stone Age brains. The behaviors you think are social graces are actually survival dances to keep you from being kicked out of the tribe. You think you are just going to work? You are actually trying to convince everyone around you that you are not a saber-toothed tiger waiting to pounce. Today, we are cracking that code. Not that kind of code. There is more. Grog cannot read. Grog does not have Wi-Fi. Grog only has one worry. He needs to survive the day without becoming dinner for a beast. Or worse, getting taken out by a group of strangers for trespassing. You see, 50,000 years ago, meeting a stranger was not like seeing a coworker at the coffee machine. It was a life or death situation. If Grog approached with too much confidence, that was a threat. If Grog hunched his shoulders, that was weak submission. It was an invitation for others to steal his food. Every move Grog made was a gamble. One blink at the wrong time, or one twitchy hand, and boom, Grog became history. Do you see the difference? In Grog's world, communication was not about sharing information. It was about proving you did not intend to kill the other guy. That is how nonverbal communication was born. It was not a choice. It was your armor. Ancient humans had no words for hello or let us make peace. They only had their bodies, a tilt of the head, the placement of a hand, a steady breath. If you got it right, you lived. If you got it wrong, well, we do not need to talk about that ending. The funny thing is, your brain still runs exactly like Grog's. When you walk into a room full of strangers, you scan them automatically. You check how they stand. You look for smiles. You notice if their arms are crossed. You are scanning for data, just like Grog scanning the savannah. You do not even realize you are doing it, do you? Do not worry. That is evolution's fault, not yours. We spent tens of thousands of years learning how not to kill each other on sight. Believe me, that art is more complex than you think. It is not just a smile. It is an entire coding system you use every single day without knowing it. Now, let us see how terrifying your friendly smile actually is. You think a smile is just about joy? A little gift to spread happiness? Oh, you are so naive. In Grog's world, a smile was a tactical statement. Look at modern chimpanzees. When they bare their teeth, they are not telling a joke. They are terrified. They are trying to prove something. They are saying, look at my teeth. I have no intention of biting you, so please do not bite me. A smile is basically the evolution of baring your fangs. We learned to make it look less like a killer so society would not fall into chaos. But fundamentally, every time you smile at a stranger, you are subconsciously sending a message. You are saying, I have no weapons in my mouth, and I am not a predator. Do not ever try that social smile on a saber-toothed tiger. It will not understand your manners. It only sees you baring your teeth. In the language of beasts, that is a challenge, or an invitation to dinner. Grog learned this the hard way. He smiled, and the tiger pounced. Grog realized that smiling only works on your own kind, on those who understand that the baring of teeth is a sign of peace. Next time you see someone smile at you, remember this. They probably do not think you are interesting. They are just trying to make sure they are not your enemy. It is a harsh truth, but it is how we have survived for tens of thousands of years. There is more. You carry something else with you at all times. If someone invades it, you lose your mind. It is your bubble. Have you ever felt uncomfortable when a stranger stands too close in an elevator or a queue? You step back. They step forward. You step back again. It is not that you hate them, you are just protecting your survival buffer. Scientists call this proxemics. Every one of us carries an invisible bubble around our body. When someone enters that bubble, your brain hits the red alert button. An intruder is here. Why make such a big deal out of it? Because 50,000 years ago, if a stranger could touch you, they could stab you. Distance equals reaction time. If they are far away, you have time to grab your spear or run. If they are close, you have already lost. Do not try to hug a stranger in prehistoric times. It is a terrible idea. Grog tried it once. He realized that hugging is not a universal language. It is an act of aggression. In their eyes, you are trying to restrain them. Their natural reaction? A punch or a rock to the head. We still keep that bubble today. That is why you feel suffocated in a crowd. That is why you always pick the empty seat furthest away in a movie theater. You are not antisocial. You are just following your ancient survival instincts. You are keeping your distance to make sure you have an exit strategy. But wait, have you ever wondered why we start acting exactly the same when we sit in a group? Here is the fun part. But wait, have you ever noticed that when you talk to a close friend, you both accidentally cross your legs the same way? Or take a sip of water at the exact same time? You think that is a coincidence? No, that is the ultimate power of the tribe. In Grog's world, if you did not belong to a group, you died. It is that simple. A lone individual on the savannah is just a snack for predators. So, our ancestors developed a sophisticated biological tech to identify their own. It is called synchronization. When you mimic someone's gestures, you are sending a silent signal. You are saying, I am like you. I am not an outsider. I am part of the tribe. This is called the mirroring effect. Your brain is a master mimicry machine. When you see someone smile, a part of your brain smiles too. When they are sad, you feel it. This is not some poetic empathy. This is your brain checking if the other person is on the same frequency. If they do not mirror you back, your brain immediately labels them as a dangerous stranger. Do not pretend you do not do it. You have tried to mimic your boss's posture to get on their good side, right? Do not deny it. You are not being sneaky. You are just running the survival software installed back in the Stone Age. You are trying to fit in so you do not get kicked out of the tribe. Believe me, being exiled from the tribe is scarier than being chased by a tiger. At least the tiger does not need you to mimic it to let you live. Now, let us see what happens if you dare to fall out of sync with the whole tribe. Synchronization is not just mimicry. It is a ritual to prove we are one. When the whole tribe nods together, waves their arms together, or stays silent in rhythm, they create a field of trust. Scientists have proven that when people act in sync, happy hormones spike and suspicion vanishes. You feel safer when you are among people who are like you. But look at that poor guy. He does not know how to mirror. He sits when everyone stands. He laughs when everyone is serious. Do you see the look in the tribe's eyes? That is not tolerance. That is judgment. In Grog's world, someone who cannot synchronize is someone you cannot trust. If you cannot match the group, you might be a spy. Or worse, you are a liability who could harm the whole tribe. Exactly. Synchronization is your ticket in. If you do not have it, you are out. Why do you think we tend to wear the same clothes, use the same slang, or even like the same trending movies? That is not about good taste. That is your instinct screaming, let me into the group, I am just like you. We fear being different more than death. In the past, being different meant being isolated, and isolation meant being left behind on a savanna full of predators. So, next time you find yourself trying to blend into the crowd, do not beat yourself up. You are just trying to survive. But there is a code even more dangerous than that. One look is all it takes to decide who is the leader and who is the follower. Eyes. The most powerful weapon that never touches skin. Have you ever wondered why you look at the floor when your boss yells at you, instead of looking them in the eye? It is not because you are sorry. It is an ancient signal of submission. In Grog's world, staring down someone stronger was an act of provocation. It was a direct challenge. You were saying, I want to take your spot as leader. If Grog stared at the chief, he would get a gentle punch to the face. That was just the tribe's way of reminding him of his place. Looking down or avoiding eye contact is your way of saying, I accept your dominance. Please do not hit me. Exactly. Never mess with eye contact. In modern meetings, confident people stare others down to show power. Those who want to avoid trouble look away. We are still playing the game of who dominates whom every single day without knowing it. You think you are discussing work? You are actually fighting to see who the alpha is in that room. It is ridiculous to think that even with the internet, cars, and planes, our brains are still stuck in the era where looking at someone could decide if you eat dinner or go to bed hungry. We are ancient creatures trying to play the role of modern humans. Believe me, this script has plenty of plot twists left. But wait, do you see something strange? Everything you just heard is only the tip of the iceberg. Now comes the part that will actually give you chills. The counterintuitive truth is this. We did not evolve to be more civilized. We just changed the scenery. 50,000 years ago, you feared tigers. Now, you fear your boss, you fear being ostracized, and you fear being left behind. The nature of fear remains the same. Your brain, that ancient survival machine, is still running the same algorithm. How do I stay in the tribe? Every polite behavior you perform daily, from holding the door to smiling at a client or nodding in a meeting, is just a survival dance. You are not polite because you are a nice person. You are polite because your brain is screaming at you. Negotiate your way into the group, or you will starve. It is ironic, right? We are so proud of our civilization, our tech, and our social grace. But deep down, we are still primitives shivering in a cave, trying to mimic secret codes just to be accepted. You do not face wild beasts anymore, but you face your tribe every single day. Never forget this. Every time you step into an elevator and smile, you are not just being polite. You are sending an ancient message. I am one of you. I am not the enemy. That is how we conquered this planet. Not with fangs and claws, but by understanding the secret codes of each other. Next time you smile in an elevator, remember, you are not just being nice. You are trying to convince a stranger that you are not a saber-toothed tiger. Luckily for you, they are trying to do the exact same thing to you. Congratulations. You just survived another day. Ultimately, human survival is not about muscles or sharp fangs. It is about the ability to understand invisible codes. These are the nonverbal signals we have gathered over tens of thousands of years of evolution. You might think you are an independent individual, a modern human in full control. But you are actually just one link in a massive tribe. Every nod, every averted gaze, and every awkward smile in an elevator is a piece of a grand survival puzzle. We are not just communicating. We are constantly negotiating our existence in a world where loneliness is the most dangerous enemy. If you understand this, the world around you suddenly becomes a lot more strange. You will start to see the grog hiding inside your coworkers' suits. You will see tribes operating in coffee shops. You will see invisible punches thrown in online arguments. We are still primitives. We just have Wi-Fi and air conditioning to cover up our instincts. So next time you feel lost in a crowd, remember that it is just your brain reminding you of your roots. Do not be afraid. Just smile, keep a safe distance, and never stare down the leader unless you are ready for a fight. You are not just being polite. You are trying to convince a stranger that you are not a saber-toothed tiger. Luckily for you, they are trying to do the exact same thing to you. Congratulations. You just survived another day.